Hello everyone, TAC1421 here. Welcome back to my countdown series to Call of Duty Ghosts. Today is day 18 in the countdown series. We got 18 days left until the release of Call of Duty Ghosts. I am very excited indeed. I'm just thrilled for this game to come out. And I know I talk about that at the very beginning of every single day, but regardless, it is true. I'm excited for this game. Just doing more and more research. Every single time I do more research on this game, it just gets me pumped up for this game to be released on November 5th. And I cannot wait to get it in my hands and play. And you can definitely bet on me having some gameplays out on that November 5th. I looked at my schedule. My class isn't until 5 o'clock on that day. So I'm probably going to pull an all-nighter. Maybe not. I'll figure it out. I might just like sleep the entire day before and then pull an all-nighter. I don't know. We'll talk about that later on day one, what my schedule is or whatever you want to call it. But this gameplay here is from BlackOps2, and this was a series of gameplays that I had. You'll probably see the other two gameplays somewhere in this countdown series because I thought I did a really good job in those gameplays. It was just exciting gameplays. I'm running around the map using my C4s and my submachine guns, and I'm never in I'm never in a spot for more than like 5 seconds. I'm always running around, it seems. So unless I'm waiting for my care package, that's an exception, but it's a reasonable exception. But the enemy team kind of realized that I was kind of dominating this lobby and using a lot of C4s, trying to get as many C4 kills as possible, and they put on Flak Jacket, which is a little annoying, but I still managed to do a pretty good job. But today on day number 18, the topic is going to be as follows, which is dedicated servers. We have dedicated servers now in Call of Duty Ghosts, which is absolutely fantastic. Basically, the reason I'm doing this topic today, if you missed the last few days or you're just kind of here for the first time, in the Countdown series, I was originally going to talk about Perk Slot 3 today, but if you watched the last 2 episodes or last 2 days of this series, you will know that the entire perk system has changed for the better, in my opinion. I really like the new system. I think it's going, or what am I saying? Yeah, the new perk system, I think it's going to be a lot better. We talked about that on the last 2 days. If you want to go check that out, feel free. There will also be an annotation at the very end of this video to go back to the last day, and so forth and so on. Let's go ahead and talk about dedicated servers. So when we talk about dedicated servers and stuff like that, whenever we talk about internet connections in general, I'm not the best when it comes to basically how connections work and stuff like that. I just kind of know the facts. I can kind of tell everyone how the last few games in Call of Duty have gone and stuff like that. I can kind of talk about what I feel as if the servers were like in the last kind of Call of Duties. But basically, from my knowledge, from what kind of connections, how connections work, is anything you do in a game is basically whatever you do, whether it's firing your weapon, throwing a C4, blowing up a car, walking through a door, going up a ladder, anything that you do in a Call of Duty or any game in particular, has to be broadcasted in some way to the rest of the people playing that game, whether it's Call of Duty or any other game for that matter. So basically in Call of Duty, the way that they've kind of done the system in the last few Call of Duties, and pretty much all the Call of Duties that have multiplayer, is they've had a host system where it's not dedicated by whoever made the game, whether it's Treyarch or Infinity Ward. It's basically the host is going to be a player. So if you basically say that I was hosting, you would host to my connection, and you just work off of my connection. Sometimes this would give the host a huge advantage. Sometimes it wouldn't give the host a huge advantage. Sometimes it would actually be bad for the host to have to be host in a particular game. So sometimes it's good and bad at times. It really depends on the situation. But for the most part, it was hard to work with. It brought forth a lot of lag. Sometimes they would pick a host, and sometimes if you were playing a game, you'd see that host migration. At least they had host migration, and they brought that in Call of Duties. Before host migration, the game would just end, which I always thought was ridiculous, how the game would just end in like Call of Duty 4 before they had host migration. So it was a good step that they added host migration to the game. But if even then, sometimes it would still really lag, because the problem was that internets aren't perfect. Sometimes, I know, like my connection, there's times where your connection will spike a little bit. Sometimes it will be better than, sometimes it'll be better than other times. So it really depends on your connection, and it's kind of hard to get 12 to 18 people in a lobby and they're all working together on the same connection, because sometimes stuff that happens on your screen might not happen on other people's screens. Well, now dedicated servers are going to be brought to you, to everyone in Call of Duty Ghosts, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to improve the playability of the game. It's going to hopefully be a lot better. I hope a lot of people enjoy playing the game now. Now that it's not going to be as bad. You can definitely, I'm going to definitely say that there's going to be a lot more people that are going to be excited and happy for this game, just because there are dedicated servers. And the reason is this, because I feel like a lot of people stopped playing Call of Duty just because there wasn't dedicated servers. They were so upset that they were getting shot around corners and stuff like that. Well, now the dedicated servers are finally here. That's not going to happen as much, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be a lot more happy with the connection and stuff like that. So that is going to be it for today. Let me know what you think about dedicated servers making its debut in Call of Duty Ghosts. I will see everyone tomorrow for day 17. See you then. Peace.